1809, and we're back to the same map that we used in 1805 map, whose main and most prominent feature is this area here in the middle of the map, an area that is impassable to all units. And also an important fact is that the objective areas are all around this area here, so actually this will present problems that we'll discuss in a second. This is a very straightforward scenario. There are no special rules, there are no defeat conditions. Napoleon simply has to take control of all objective areas before the game is over. Actually, there isn't that much time to do so. Napoleon starts here with a respectable number of units, and also units of pretty good quality, but there is an equally respectable number of enemy units there ready to defend. Actually, defeating these units and stabilizing the situation in these areas is not going to be that hard. The challenging thing is that, in any case, these battles to stabilize the situation here and diminish the number of enemy units here will wear out Napoleon's forces. And Napoleon doesn't have many supplies in this scenario. So actually, Napoleon will be weakened by those battles. And the real hard thing here will be, in fact, to give the final push and to take control of the last objectives left after the situation here is a little calmer. Napoleon does receive some reinforcements later in the game, and he's the only one who does. The enemies do not receive reinforcements, but some of these reinforcements, a small group of them, will enter from here, which is an enemy area. So unless Napoleon has taken control of this area or is ready to bring reinforcements there, the small number of units that enters from here may actually be overwhelmed by the defenses that that group will encounter here. And once that the reinforcements enter the game, the final part of the game really, I think, is dominated by one main problem, which is whether to keep Napoleon's army together or to split it. Because if you keep the army together and then you move in this direction, then it is not that hard to clean up this area and take control of these objectives. Problem is, again, that the enemies keep running around this area here, and if they start sneaking around this area in this direction as you are here, then they start retaking the objectives from you. The other option is to split the army, Napoleon's army, in two groups, one moving in this direction, one in this other one, so sort of like encircling the enemies to avoid them retaking objectives. But that means that each of the two parts of Napoleon's army that you send in each direction will be much weaker than if you keep the army together. And at that point, you have to really do some fine-tuning and make sure that both sections of the army are actually up to the task, because making a mistake there and having one section too weak is pretty easy. And at that point, if you have a section of the army that is destroyed here and the other section on the other side of the map, then of course it's pretty bad. Overall, a very straightforward scenario, so straightforward that I think it may even work as an introductory scenario.